So I've been documenting my planche journey for a while now. I think I have around 30 videos in my planche progression playlist, and I think if you've been looking through it religiously or just occasionally having a watch, you would tend to find that the general theme is my progression is not really that consistent. It jumps around, it fluctuates, and oftentimes I complain about it, or I always bring it up in my videos. Now, surprisingly, I feel like I'm in the phase where I was able to effectively put in a deload session. I deloaded for 2 sessions, and then in this session, I felt great. I felt a lot better, and it seems like the straddle holds I'm showing are being a bit more consistent. A few people have picked up on this, and they've said that, or specifically Mantis Calisthenics, he said that my straddle holds are improving a lot more, or at least the number of times I'm attempting it, there's more successful holds compared to before. Now, that's actually it's a different way of looking at progression, and you kind of use consistency as the medium to define that display of strength. Now, another thing I wanted to mention in this session was the use of parallettes. So one person way before mentioned that I should try and use parallettes. I think his name was Isaac, and he said it reduces the load on your wrists, and it allows for you to better utilize the shoulder engagement and the more major muscles rather than purely focusing on that minima, or the limiter, which is your wrist. Now, I haven't really had too many problems with my wrist when I'm doing planche exercises on the floor, and I had the idea or the hypothesis that if I can do the planche on the floor, then I would naturally be able to do it on the parallettes because there's less emphasis on the wrist. Now, when I was doing my working sets, especially my bent arm work, so the pseudo planche push-ups, I was able to get greater range of motion in the parallettes. However, I didn't feel as though I was getting as much stimulus in my shoulders. I don't know. I felt like the engagement in my delts was not as effective as when I normally do it on the floor. And I guess you could say it's because it's a new tool, it's a new grip, and it's like a whole new, although it may not be much of a change in the major movements, it still is a change on the platform that you're putting your hands on. So therefore, I'm not as effective at using this balance, and what my body's now focusing on is the grip rather than the engagement of my shoulders. So the pathways kind of allow me to say that, I'm not as adapted for the parallettes as I am for the floor, because specifically talking about like specificity, I've only been focusing on the floor work. So in that sense, maybe I'm just a bit more effective at engaging myself on the floor. Now, this comes with time. I'm hoping I'm going to be using parallettes a lot more, and I'm hoping to start bringing about the use of resistance bands. Many people have talked about the benefits of it, and they've been recommending it a lot. I've seen all these comments, and I want to use these comments as an advantage to maximize my progression. So I'm going to be ordering resistance bands, and hopefully they come by soon. And I hope this brings about a whole new era of progression and new ideas and experiments to work on. So yeah, that was basically it, and I'll finish it off here.